exercise. So for our athlete scheme, we did a 25-year-old male who is a beginner in kickboxing. And so kind of a little background on kickboxing for just anyone that doesn't know. It's a combination of high intensity training and cardiovascular and muscular endurance. So for that, just to be able to build up the endurance to last long rounds in the ring. For our guy, he's just starting out, so some of his goals are to build up that endurance and power, because not everyone has that when you start out. And then one of his biggest goal is to be able to last a full round in a competition. We talked about this in class, but once you get into a ring, you are just kind of stuck there, and so you need to have the endurance to last the full round, however long it may go, and not get fatigued and tired by the end. So that's his goals.
Our scheme for the workout is muscular endurance, so he's going to be doing under 67% of his 1 rep max, and then for sets it's 12 to 15. We're going to do 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps, but anything over 12 is good for muscular endurance.
Alright, today we're going to be doing a full body exercise. We're going to be focusing on compound movements, so we're going to be focusing on exercises that work the same muscle group back to back. We're first going to start with a leg press. We'll do 12 to 15 reps of that, 3 sets, and then we're going to do a leg extension. Same thing, about 12 to 15 reps. Then we're going to go into a chest press, followed by a shoulder press. And then we're going to go into a row machine, and then finish off with abdominal crunches. Alright, we're going to start out with the leg press. So we already had this set up for Kendall, but usually the goal is to make sure that the knees are at a 90-degree angle to set this machine up. There is a settings down here where you pull out this part, and then you slide it into these holes to fit the measurement of your client. And so I'm going to have her perform this exercise. We're just going to push into the press machine. This exercise works both your quads and your hamstrings. And because our sport is kickboxing, that's a high endurance sport, so we're going to be training for endurance. So we're going to aim for about 12 to 15 reps.
Okay, so this is the next exercise. It's going to be the leg extension machine. And so for Kenna, it's set on 4 right now, but that's not quite right. So we're going to go ahead and move it to the 1. So it's better positioned at her ankles for when she does this. We have the weight set up for endurance based. It's going to be 12 to 15 reps. And so I'm going to have her to do this. You're going to just push on against the orange pad. Concentric is going to be on the way up. And then on the way down, that's going to be the eccentric motion. And this is working on the quads for that power and cooking.
This next exercise is going to be the American chest press. So right now, the way Ken is seated, the bar is in line with her upper shoulder. So I'm going to have her stand up. And then you move the bar up and adjust it down here. Notice she sits down. The bar should be in line with the midline of your chest. And for this exercise, we're exercising the pecs. So when she pushes out, that's concentric, and then when she relaxes, it'll be eccentric. And because we're doing endurance, it is low weight, high reps, so about 12 to 15. This exercise is going to be the shoulder press. So to adjust the seat, you have a lever down here. It's actually the perfect height for Kendall right now because her shoulders, or her hands are slightly above her shoulders. This is working out her shoulders and upwards. For this, she's going to raise her arms straight, and that's a concentric contraction. When she lowers it, that's eccentric. We're doing a lower weight, and she's going to do about 12 to 15 reps.
Okay, so this next exercise is the seated row. This is primarily working the lats, trapezius, rhomboids, and the posterior delts. For this machine, ideally we would like it to move closer to the body, but this one is broken, so we're just gonna kind of make do with what we have for right now. This one, she's gonna grab the handles, retract. Right now the weight is set at 50 pounds, but since we're doing less weight, higher reps. I'm gonna move it up to, would you say 40 is pretty good for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna have her show, when she pulls back, that's gonna be the concentric motion. And then as she slowly goes forward, that's gonna be the eccentric motion of all those muscles that are being worked.
Alright, for this next exercise, we're going to be doing the abdominal crunches. So I'm going to have Caitlin lock her feet in at the handles down below. She's going to grab the bottom of these ropes. And so, obviously this is working her abdominals. She's going to focus on concentrically contracting her abs, flexing forward, pushing her chest to her knees, doing concentric, and then eccentrically she's going to be relaxing back. So for this exercise, or this machine in particular, you can actually adjust it to where you want to work the obliques, which is going to be more at a lateral setting, versus the rectus abdominis, which is what I just had Caitlin do.
Now that you've seen our exercises, those are the machines that our athlete has available to him to work with. A lot of them are simpler, but as he gets more advanced, he can move into more complex movements.
So I'm going to be talking about the regression part. So let's say our athlete had a scheduling conflict, or just it got busy and he doesn't have time to train as much as he would like. If he still does want to train, we can go down a set. So 2 sets of 12 to 15 reps, so working that muscular endurance and working up to getting some higher power and more endurance. And also, if it gets a little too difficult, the weight he's at, going to a lower weight and continuing those longer reps, because ideally the goal was always to build that muscular endurance for long rounds.
And then for progression, he can always start increasing in weight, getting more comfortable, seeing how far he can push himself. And then if he feels really comfortable with that and wants to get into more complex exercises, we get into more free weight exercises involving barbells, body weight exercises, plyometrics. Okay, so that was our resistance training kickboxing video using only 6 resistance training machines. Thank you for watching.